couldn't believe what I was saying, but the words just kept coming out. My name is Maya, and I destroyed the best thing that ever happened to me. When I landed the senior marketing position at that huge tech company, everything changed. Suddenly, I was making real money, wearing designer clothes, getting invited to exclusive events. Men in expensive suits started paying attention to me, and I liked it. My boyfriend James was an elementary school teacher. He made maybe $40,000 a year, drove an old Honda, and lived in a tiny one-bedroom apartment. We'd been together since college, and back then, none of that mattered. But now it did. I just gotten back from a company dinner at this incredible restaurant, where appetizers cost more than James spent on groceries in a week. While I walked in, he was grading spelling tests, wearing one of his 3 work shirts. He looked up with that warm smile and asked about my night. Something just broke inside me. I told him I deserved better, that I'd outgrown him, that I needed someone who matched my success, someone on my level. I expected him to fight back, to get angry, to promise he'd change. Instead, he just looked at me and said, "You're right, Maya. You do deserve someone who's where you are." The next morning, his key was on the counter. He packed everything and left in the middle of the night. No drama, no angry texts, just gone. For almost a month, I convinced myself I'd made the right choice. I went out with a financial analyst who took me to rooftop lounges. A corporate attorney flew me to the coast for a weekend. I posted pictures on social media, and everyone thought I was living the dream. Nobody could see that I felt completely hollow inside. Then, one Saturday, looking for an old jacket in my closet, I found a folder labeled Maya's Future in James's handwriting. Inside were printed emails going back almost 5 years. The first one made my stomach drop. It was from James to someone in HR at my company. "Thank you for agreeing to interview Maya. I know my uncle doesn't usually get involved in hiring decisions, but this would mean everything to me." James had got me the interview. I never even knew his uncle worked there. The next email was to the department head. "I understand Maya's experience is limited, but she's incredibly talented. She just needs someone to take a chance on her." There were dozens more. James quietly opening doors, making connections, putting his reputation on the line for me, all without ever saying a word. Then I found the bank statements. James had been paying $700 a month to a career consultant who'd help me prepare for interviews. Those practice sessions I thought were free through some university program. He'd been paying the whole time. There were receipts for the professional clothes I'd worn to interviews. I complained I couldn't afford a proper suit, and 2 days later found one that fit perfectly at a consignment shop. Except it wasn't from a consignment shop. James had bought it new and made up the story so I wouldn't feel bad. Bills for the networking conferences he'd encouraged me to attend while saying he was fine staying home. Registration fees he'd paid secretly. My laptop that died right before a major presentation and was mysteriously fixed overnight. James had taken out a payment plan he couldn't afford. The professional photos I needed for the company website that James said his friend took as a favor. He paid $1,200. Every piece of my work wardrobe, carefully selected and purchased while James wore the same 3 shirts week after week. The last thing in the folder was a handwritten letter dated the day I got my job offer. Maya got the director position. She thinks it's all her hard work and talent, and it is. She's brilliant, but she doesn't know about the calls I made or the doors I helped open. I used my uncle's connections, even though it meant admitting I needed help from the family I've kept at arm's length for years. I know Maya's been noticing other men lately. Men with more money, better cars, nicer apartments. I see how she looks at me sometimes, like I'm holding her back. Maybe I am, but I needed to make sure she got this chance, even if it means she decides she doesn't need me anymore. She deserves everything good in this world, even if I'm not part of it. I couldn't breathe. I tried calling him, but his number didn't work. His social media was gone. I drove through his school, and they told me he'd requested a transfer to a district 2 hours away. Put in the paperwork the day after I ended things. 7 months later, I saw his engagement announcement online. She was a 3rd grade teacher with a genuine smile.